The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm golden glow over the fields. The air smelled of earth and grass, the peaceful sounds of nature filling the quiet evening. A shepherd, with weathered hands and a weathered heart, sat by a small fire, watching over his flock of sheep. His eyes, though tired, were vigilant, as every shepherd's must be. He counted each one as they gathered close, knowing them by name, keeping them safe. As the flock settled in for the night, a soft breeze brushed through the tall grass, and something caught the shepherd's eye. One of the sheep was missing. His heart skipped a beat. In a split second, he realized one was lost. The sheep wasn't just an animal to him. It was part of his care, his love, his responsibility. He had led them to green pastures and quiet waters. He had been their protector and guide. And now one had strayed. The shepherd stood up, wiping his hands on his cloak. He looked across the vast field, darkening now with the dusk, and made his decision. He couldn't stay. He couldn't rest until he had found the lost one. Without hesitation, he left the 99 safe in the fold, trusting them to the hills, and ventured into the unknown, the darkening wilderness. His steps quickened, and his breath became short. The shadows stretched long, and the world grew quiet. He searched the narrow pathways, called into the open fields, and listened for the faintest bleat. The night seemed endless. Hours passed, but the shepherd's resolve didn't waver. His heart pounded in his chest, knowing that no matter how far, no matter how dangerous, he could not rest. He had to find the lost one. And then, at the very edge of the wilderness, through the dense thicket, he heard it, a faint, trembling bleat. It was small, almost inaudible, but it cut through the silence. The lost sheep, with newfound urgency. The shepherd pushed forward, the sight of the sheep coming into view. It was huddled beneath a bramble, shivering with fear. It had wandered too far, strayed too far from the fold, alone and vulnerable. The shepherd's heart swelled with relief. He knelt beside the sheep, his hands gentle as he gathered it into his arms. The animal's wool was matted with dirt, its body trembling from cold and fear. But the shepherd didn't care about the dirt. He didn't care that it was bruised and weary. What mattered was that it was his sheep, his responsibility. As he lifted the sheep onto his shoulders, a wave of comfort washed over him. The darkness seemed to recede. The air became warmer, and the weight of the night lifted. He had found what was lost. The journey back was slow, but the shepherd's heart was light. Every step toward home felt like a step toward healing. As they approached the fold, the shepherd's voice rose with joy. The flock could hear his call, and the others stirred with excitement. They knew their brother was coming home. The shepherd arrived at the fold, and with a voice full of joy, he called out to his friends, his neighbors, "Rejoice with me. I have found my lost sheep." There was no judgment, no harsh words for the wandering sheep. Only love. The shepherd cared not for the effort it took to find the sheep or the danger it had caused. What mattered was that it was safe, that it was home. Moral of the story. This simple story is a beautiful reflection of God's relentless love for every individual. Even when we stray, even when we wander, God is always ready to leave the safety of the fold to find us. His love knows no bounds, and his pursuit of us is unending. We are never too far gone to be seen, and no matter how dark the night, his love will always bring us home.